going to be 40.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. We have a couple of Boy Scouts here. Great, thanks for being here, guys. I'm going to ask you to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, if you don't mind. Come right up to the podium. Thanks a lot, guys. So would everybody please stand for the pledge? And whenever you guys are ready, go ahead. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would everybody please remain standing for a moment of silence for the troops that are fighting for this country, both domestically and overseas, and may they all come home safe. Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. Okay, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for attending tonight's town board meeting of the Town of Carmel. Tonight's town board meeting is a work session. And for the record, all town board members are present with us this evening, as well as our town council, Greg Fulchetti, all the way down to my left. And Mary Ann Maxwell's here, our town controller, Kathleen Kraus, the receiver of taxes, and Jimmy Gilchrist, our recreation director, as well as Glenn Josie, the town assessor's here also. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. No. So thank you all for being here. And prior to coming out for the town board public session, we did have a meeting at 6 p.m. this evening. And I know a lot of you were aware of it because, it was posted on the agenda. The town board has started this new meetings that we're going to be holding twice a month. And they're going to start at 6 p.m. prior to the start of the town board work session. So at 6 p.m. tonight, the town board met for an informal roundtable discussion. The board members were actually sitting out in front of the dais with the other folks that attended the meeting tonight. So it was really, it was an informal meeting where the board discussed several initiatives that are going on within the town of Carmel, several projects that are ongoing. And we just felt that we needed to spend some more time in a public session discussing town-related business as a town board and with the community, with the public. We're hoping more people are going to attend once they become more aware of this, that we're going to be doing this twice a month, so it's every 2 weeks. When we have a work session agenda, we'll be here at 6 p.m. It's not televised, but we're here discussing town-related business. It's noticed, so the public is aware of it. So I would encourage the public to attend these meetings so you can listen to what the town board is discussing, because it's all going to come down to, the town of Carmel and new things that are going to be happening within the town, new initiatives, new projects, new ongoings. We discussed the infrastructure tonight, the water and sewer. We talked about revising the town code, which we plan on, because we budgeted, we plan on doing that this year. The master plan, our comprehensive plan, is 21 years old, so we're going to be discussing a new master plan for the town of Carmel as well. So important things that are going to be happening within the town. There's a lot going on, a lot of revitalization that we talked about. Our town parks, we had discussions about that, about the airport park tonight, about McDonough Park. So the sewer main that's proposed for the southern section of downtown Mahopac. We talked a little bit about that. So a lot of important topics. And the board just felt that it was important that we as a board got together and shared our thoughts in an informal roundtable meetings with the town of Carmel. So, if you're interested in the town and you want to hear more about what's going on, attend these informal workshops. There's going to be a lot happening. So,
Tom, there were members.
You want to add some more?
There were members of the public here, and the press was here, so there were people in the audience.
When is the next one? Every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from tonight. 2 weeks from tonight.
Before a work session.
Right before the start of the public work session.
It's not a discussion with the public. It's a discussion amongst us that you can listen to and ask questions after the regular meeting.
And that's what I was going to add, working off of what Councilman Borelli said. A lot of the items are not executive session. But you start to have, you play telephone tag, you know, two people call each other and then so on and so on. But informal session like this, you can get the full board and start talking, because it is made out to the public. So the public's able to hear and witness what is being said, full transparency. So it's just also just a easier, more effective way of communicating amongst the board.
The town board minutes, unless the board has any comments. All right. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, John.
So right now, we're just gonna move on with the town work session while Supervisor Schmidt goes to test something. So we're gonna do review of the town board minutes, if anybody has any comments or suggestions on it. Is everybody good?
It's tight.
Town board
Good
minutes?
with, you good with the
Yes, go with the minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're gonna move on to work session number 1. This is a, regarding.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, my mic is on. Yeah, it's on. This is, we got an email from Ann Garris, Ann Spotford, regarding recognizing the week of June 1st through June 7th as National Garden Week. And we're asking the town board if we'd be interested in acknowledging the National Garden Week. Is everyone good with that?
Yes, I do believe it is June 3rd through the 9th.
She's-
June 1st was the
The
June
example.
resolution
3rd,
is
the
from last year.
Yeah, the resolutions, that was the 2014.
Yeah, the
Yep.
example resolution that she sent in was for the first, so
Yep.
this
So
resolution
this
will be the
year's
3rd and the
June
4th.
3rd through June 9th.
Yep.
Okay. The next one is Lake Secor Park District to consider request for authorizing part-time seasonal rates, the lifeguards. Carl Brenner from Secor Lake Park District. They wanted to set up a different pay package for their lifeguards, and he's requesting these amounts, if everybody's okay with that.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And everyone's going to have their CPR certifications.
Yeah, and Jimmy, you're here, right? Just make sure everyone has their CPR, their certifications and all. Perfect. Okay. The third is the Lake Secor, consider approval and authorizing the distribution of the newsletter. And they did a really nice job on it. It's the front and back, and it goes on it. Again, it's for the Lake Secor with Carl Brenner. Does everybody have, okay with that?
Yeah, I don't
No
remember that
cost to
being
the
there.
taxpayers, it's part of the district expense.
Yes. This one here, number 4, is the Lake Cassie Park District, consider request to authorize part-time seasonal rates for lifeguards. And they sent over their rates for the lifeguards as well as the gate guards for 2018 from Lake Cassie. Is everybody good with that?
Aside from it not matching what they had done for the request 2 agendas previous. It shows 3 years and beyond 17 per hour, but then over here,
No,
it's only
that
at
one
16
was,
per hour.
this
Oh,
one
this
was
is
Lake
for Secor.
Secor, that one's Lake
Yeah, I thought we had talked
Cassie.
about having them all uniform.
All uniformed. I think the majority of them are, but Lake Secor, and that's why they're finally raising their rates up.
Okay.
So, Greg, should I just tell everybody what the things are? I don't have to go through all this, right? 'Cause we're gonna,
Well, it's gonna be on file, and we'll
Yeah.
call them out during the resolution.
right. Okay, number 5, the work session is the Lake Cassie Park District, consider approval and authorizing the distribution of the newsletter. The Lake Cassie also does a beautiful job on their newsletter here. They have a ton of events. Everybody good with that? Okay. And number 6 is Kathleen Kraus, Receiver of Taxes, and Marion Maxwell, Town Comptroller, to consider request to accept proposal for the tax collection software. And Marianne and Kathleen are here, and they're going to explain it, and then if we have any questions, we can ask them. Thanks, Marianne. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Good evening. We're here to talk about the proposal that we would like you to acknowledge and look at and hopefully accept for new tax software. We've been with our current vendor for the tax software for many years. They were here before I started. The original owner sold the company a few years back. The customer service and the response time have dramatically declined. Each year for the past approximately 5 years, it's gotten progressively worse, which has affected the work that we do in my office. There's been problems in loading the tax roll, response time. I've been delayed in being able to accept payments, so it's gotten worse each year. We've looked at a lot of other municipal tax software companies. BAS, which is the proposal you have in front of you, has always been one of the better companies in this line of work. It is a New York-based company. They have over 800 municipal customers throughout New York State. They have a high level of customer service and a quick response time. Currently, our town clerk is using BAS, and she has been using them for some time. The town of Southeast just started using them for tax collection this past January. I did spend some time in the Southeast tax office a couple of weeks ago. I sat with her while she, showed me the entering of the payments and how the whole process is working. And it really, she's quite happy with it. She is on the same schedule. I mean, she's sort of the prototype for us because we're the same county reporting, the same penalty schedule. So if she's got it working, I'm quite comfortable to go behind that. The program will also enable us to accept online and in-office credit card payments. She told me that the processing of the credit card charges has been seamless. She's got no issue. It's been working very well. In addition, Putnam Valley School District is also now using BAS for their tax collection and have been happy with the program. So I think it's a good fit. We've looked at a few others. For the tax module, this, I believe, is the best one.
Okay.
Kathleen, so with this software, this is going to give a taxpayer the capability to go onto our website, pay their bill.
Yes.
Can you go over what the fees would be if it were to be paid by a credit card online or if it were paid by ACH online?
Yes, the fees for credit card, give me 1 second. 2.75, right?
2.45.
Yeah, 2.45 for payments of credit card. That would be Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. And for debit card, there is a flat fee of $3.95. And let me just see what else they've got.
E-check pricing.
Oh, the e-check would be
E-check, yeah.
1.75, so $1.75 for the e-check.
Okay. So if you're going to pay from your checking account, you're going to be saving a ton of money as opposed to paying through a credit card, but you're able to do anything through our website now.
Correct, correct.
Great.
And I also have, they can also pay in my office. We will have the machine for them to swipe, and I can accept the payment physically right in the office.
Same charges would apply, the 2.45%.
Yes,
This way, we don't have to eat that.
exactly.
Credit
Yeah,
card
there
process.
would be no fees to the town on that, no.
Right.
And this is for the 5 workstations, right, Kathleen?
Correct, they changed it to 5, yep, it is 5
Okay.
workstations.
Yeah, we originally had it at 4 they had it at 4 workstations. Just to backtrack a little bit, I know we came to the board a couple months ago with a proposal from Edmunds Software, and we thought that Edmunds was going to be a full fit for everything, tax, water, we thought it, but as we kind of dug deeper with that software and spoke to other municipalities, it didn't seem to work for the tax office. Mike Carnazza is also looking at BAS as well, which is what he used to be with before he switched to Municity. So he actually received a proposal for BAS and is going to be going over that with Glenn Sullivan. We met with Kathleen and I met with Glenn Sullivan on this proposal several times. We've talked to Greg about it. We had a couple legal issues that Greg was able to work out. With Mike Carnazza accepting or using this software, if somebody was looking to get a building permit fee, if Kathleen is on the same software, before the building permit is issued, they would go downstairs, pay the fee, she would stamp it paid, they would go up and say, okay, now I can give you the building permit. So I think if Kathleen's office and Mike Carnazza's office, the Building and Code Enforcement Office, is on the same software, I think it would really work, more efficiently for the taxpayers, so.
Sounds good.
Should be on
You
the
know,
same system.
Yeah,
And the town clerk is using them as well. So with this Forte, the credit card software, Greg will have to have a separate resolution authorizing that, because there is an agreement on here.
Correct.
And the town clerk will also start accepting credit cards as well.
from the same
In
company?
her office.
The-
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll have a separate link on the website that if they want to pay, I don't know, dog permits or, you know, something like that on the town clerk website, or on the town website, the link will bring it right to this software,
Right. That
credit card
sounds great.
software.
So the total cost for the first year is the 27,850, and that includes, the software services, the online, then the data conversion. Then is there a fee, yearly, almost like a maintenance fee?
The fee annually is 24, what was that, 2,400 plus 18,
17,
I think it was, it's broken down here. 24 plus 18, so that's, oh no, 2,400.
2,400?
2,400, yeah, I think it is 2,400.
Mayor, it's a 24 and
It's a 24, and the 18,
18,
okay,
yeah.
yep. Yeah, and then 900 for the hosting, so it's about 5,000.
So how much?
About
5,000?
Annually. And that's, I think what we're paying like 6,000 now, or 6,800? Something like
Yeah,
that?
68, I think we're.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Let me ask you something. By us having the 3 different departments using the BAS, do they give you any of a discounted rate for multiple users within the same town?
yeah, I mean, he knows that we're, you know, all looking at the whole package, so he is taking that into consideration.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this way maybe you can lower the annual fee for each one of the departments. You know, you can ask
Yeah,
them.
absolutely,
hurt.
yeah.
You know. All right, good. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, thank you for the research.
No? Yeah, Kathleen, thank you for going to the other departments and finding out.
Yeah.
That was nice, Mary Ann, thank you.
And we're still searching, looking around for the water billing also. I mean, a software for the water. Kathleen collects the water right now. It's billed out of my office, but we're not going to convert that until the radio read meters are all installed. You know, I was advised not to do a software conversion and the meter conversion at the same time.
At the same time,
You know, I
okay.
was advised,
Get
you
the
know,
meters in
get the
and-
meters in, get them working, and then we'll go forward with that, so.
But this company would be able to do it too. We wouldn't have to,
Yes,
hopefully,
yes, they
yes.
do. And if that works, then it would be great, because Kathleen is accepting the payments for water.
Right.
So if she's on the same software, then it would make sense, so,
yep. All right, perfect.
All
Good,
right.
Thank you.
thank you. That's good.
You all good with that?
Good.
Okay. Work session 7 is Lieutenant John Dearma, Carmel PD, request to amend the resolution regarding the Traffic Safety Committee. Hey, John. Do you want to just discuss what you would like to be amended?
In the previous resolution, you had sent a request to the state about studying the intersection of Route 6 and Crane Road, and I don't think that intersection's necessary. There's no issues really at that intersection.
Agreed.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
the state said they just need you to rescind that request. And then the state said they have funding for the study of the intersection at Route 6 and Hill Street, Myrtle Avenue, and the Red Mills Bank. So they will actually do a study at that intersection.
Perfect. And then, did you want to, actually, John, is part of the no parking that we were talking about,
Yeah, there's a couple things.
part
in
of
there.
this with the
That's going to
restaurant
have
row?
that you're going to need to add to your amended resolution. So when you send the amended resolution rescinding the request for Route 6 Crane Road,
Add that in.
add in there that you want them to put up make no
Thing on this,
parking.
John, where it has 30 feet from entrance and exits?
That's just my recommendation. You guys can
No, it's.
make it
it's-
whatever you
It's
want.
fine, but you have to delineate the ones in the village that have 1 hour or 2 hour parking on the street. Because if you take 30 feet,
Right, those are already marked. I wouldn't touch those.
that's all I'm saying, as long as we're not affecting those.
Right, you have to specify what parts of Route 6 you're looking to do, whether you say from East Lake to Croton Falls Road,
Okay.
or East Lake to East Lake Mount Hope,
You're
that's,
just taking out the two villages, basically all of the major roads except the two hamlets.
right.
Right.
And I think we all agree on the white lines, but no more parking signs.
Yeah.
The signs, I believe you're gonna have to have a couple. It's gonna be, again, that's up to the state. It's a state highway. Only the state can prohibit, restrict, or limit the stopping, standing, or parking of vehicles on any state road.
But-
And to make the law enforceable, or to make the signs enforceable, I think there's gonna need to be a couple signs. It's built into vehicle and traffic law. When official signs have been posted prohibiting, restricting, or limiting the stopping, standing, or parking of vehicles on any highway, no person shall stop, stand, or park any vehicle in violation of the restrictions stated on such signs. Do you need signs every 5 feet in that 30 feet? No. One on this end with an arrow, no parking from here to one on the other side, and that's 2 signs over 60 feet.
If the state mandates it, we don't have a choice, but
It's up to
if
them.
we
You can
have a
request,
choice-
again, you can request it in the resolution. Kenny and I spoke to the engineer of this, the Poughkeepsie zone. So whatever you put in the resolution, whatever you request, they'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, I'd like to request
Yeah.
none of
No
the
signs.
signs, because, and they
can-
could put the no parking underneath. Just so what everybody, just to make everybody aware, is that we are recommending that prohibited parking zones be established on the shoulders of State Route 6, 30 feet back and 30 feet beyond the ingress and egress to restaurants and Restaurant Row around the Route 6 corridor. That there's, as people know, there's a lot of parking on the shoulders near the entrances and exits with the restaurants, and there has been many numerous accidents and then a lot of near misses. I know every time I go to Taco Tuesday, it's like I inch out because you can't see. So we're trying to make it safe for the businesses as well as the residents who want to frequent the unbelievable great restaurants. And what we're talking about is that quite a few of us up here, we don't like the no parking signs because it just makes the town look ugly. So we would prefer the white sign, the white, writing on the ground that says no parking, if the state can allow it. But the supervisor will talk about that.
Yeah, we spoke with them. Lieutenant Jimmerman and I called the DOT the other day. They said to include it in your resolution, or include it with your resolution and your backup, and they'll consider that when they review it. So they
Okay.
may approve it.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned about painting it on the curb also, if there's a curb there.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
that would be
paint-
okay. Mm-hmm.
Paint the curbing, and put the slash marks or the hash marks
Right.
on the pavement. And then the only issue they had with the markings being on the pavement, I don't know if John said this or not, is who's going to maintain them? Because they're not going to, the DOT is not going to. So they would want to know who's going to be responsible for maintaining them, repainting them when they need to be repainted and things like that.
Well, if they
So-
put them down with the quality of the intersections, they're not going to wear like a regular road. They're on the shoulder.
Right.
They should last for our lifetime.
And they put the reflective glass
Right.
little beads in it also, so it's reflective. So they may consider it, but we have to request it.
Highlight it,
And they'll-
underline it, bold
Right.
it.
Right.
Okay.
So, and it has to be enforceable also.
Yeah.
So when there is parking in those no parking zones, the police will be able to enforce that, issue summonses and what have you.
Okay.
So, but the people, the motorists, the operators of the cars need to clearly understand that it's a no parking zone 30 feet back from the intersection.
Right.
So they'd have to understand
And
that.
then, Mike, not to put you on the spot, we're hoping that the chamber will also help us get the word out, to the restaurants.
We-
Yeah, okay.
We don't want to negatively impact the restaurants, their customers.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. That's not our intention. Our intention is safety only. Safety of the motorist entering and exiting those, the restaurant parking lot, because it is bad, when they park right on top of the, so we'd like to get that word out, as Susie said, to those restaurants along Restaurant Row that would be, where the no parking zones would be identified and no parking place there.
So you can pick up.
No, go ahead. You're doing a great job. Go ahead. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sue.
All right, so work session item number 8. John, thank you. Do you have anything else? I'm
I
sorry.
do, one more thing.
Yes.
And if you could just add to the resolution to request the state to put up no parking signs on Route 301, starting at approximately 50 feet. I know on the email I put 25 feet, but then I drove back out there again. And I would say 50 feet west of Ridge Road, and then making it no parking going west from there. There's becoming an issue with Carmel High School kids are parking on the shoulder there. And once you get to that, if you're coming east on 301 and you're about to hit that crest right before you can see like the old courthouse and the hamlet,
Yep.
once you hit that crest, there's cars literally like their tires are touching or even over the fog line, and it tightens up the road right there.
Okay. And then maybe, John, when we get that approved and all, we can let the Carmel School District know? And
Yeah.
they can get it out to the, I'm assuming seniors and juniors who are driving.
Yeah,
They should be sending that message even if it's not a law. I
They
mean,
should
talking
be.
about safety,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, it would start from, from,
Did he cover the rumble?
I mean, there's really-
on Croton Falls Road?
Yes.
at about 50 feet west of Ridge Road, then you run out of shoulder. There's like, yeah. Yeah, to Glenida Ridge is fine. There's, no one else parks around there, yeah. That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
John, thank you.
Thanks,
Does the
John.
board have
Thanks, John.
anything?
Next shirt.
Tight on the collar.
Okay.
You want to handle Simone's?
To number 8, Michael
Yep.
Simone, Highway Superintendent. He is requesting to purchase bulk diesel fuel from the new vendor, Costco Heritage.
I'm assuming this was a bid out, and they were the lowest bidder.
It's under New York
It's the
State
state.
Office of Governmental Services.
Everybody
It's
good?
actually this, I talked to Mike today. Mike, I talked to the highway superintendent. This company, Costco Heritage, bought out the other company. They bought out the interests of the current provider. So they will be assuming that, but we have to by resolution, Greg, correct? We have to change the resolution awarding it to the new company, even though they bought out the interest of. Different vendor, yeah.
Changing road names.
Yeah. And it is off the state bid. So.
Number 9, Michael Simone, Highway Superintendent, consider request to authorize payment for tractor repair. This is a transmission repair to 2004 New Holland flail mower number 2, and it is in the amount of $11,908.38. Again, it's for transmission in that amount.
Yeah, according to Mike, the tractor itself, it's a 2004 New Holland flail mower, but it's in excellent condition. The motor's fine. All the other components of the mower are operating 100%. So this issue was the transmission, as Susie stated, and it was $11,908 cost to repair it. This machine new is probably close to $100,000 if you were to buy it new.
Is this the same machine that we just did the repair on before, or is it a different
It's the
machine?
second one, it's a different one.
Okay.
The one that you're referring to?
That was 12,000.
12,000 and change.
Last week, we did a resolution on it.
Right.
But that was a different mower than this one.
Yeah, I asked Mike that today also. It's a totally different mower.
And it wouldn't be too good.
Yeah, yeah. This is the flail mower. This is the one when you're driving around town and you see that.
Arm up, arm
the
down.
The arm is out, cutting the weeds back from the intersections. That's the flail mower, that's this one here. I think they have two with the arms on them, if I'm not
Because I
mistaken.
thought that was what we did last week as well, so it might just be the second.
Yeah, I think he's got two of those.
Okay.
Yeah. So, any questions, comments on this particular one? Okay.
The next, number 10, Jimmy Gilchrist, Director of Recreation and Parks, consider request to accept proposal for the installation of surveillance cameras. And the funds is in this year's budget to cover the costs. And Jimmy, and I'm assuming CIA?
And I also, Jim Starr from CIA is also here. He was here last year when we went over the other two parks that we brought online. So the funds that we have were encumbered from last year. So we had proposals last year for these two parks that are in front of you. So I'm bringing these in front of you. These would be, the Recreation Committee approved these about 3 months ago. These would be our next two parks that we'd like to do. We wanted to try it out first in McDonough Park and Camarda Park. It's worked out great. We've had the police department up a couple times on a couple issues. They're trained on how to use the equipment, so they're the only ones that are really accessing and going over that based on a complaint and a police report. So that's been working out great so far. The first park would be the Camarda Park proposal, and that would be, I think the total amount was $9,227. And the second would be the dog park proposal, which Jim can tell you what also it includes. It's $11,506. That includes a new electrical service into the park, because we don't have electricity down there, and some other work on the inside of the shed in that park. So, any questions on both of those systems?
Jimmy, just probably a silly question,
Sure.
but why do we need a survey camera in a dog park?
For a variety of different reasons. One would be for the safety of everybody that's in the dog park, and we've had a number of issues with vandalism, where Carmel Police Department were bringing out portable cameras, the hunting cameras. They had them up in the trees, trying to catch these people that were doing damage to the gates and fences and so on down there.
Oh, they hopping over the fence?
They were breaking the gate, cutting the gate, breaking the lock,
Oh, okay.
breaking into the building, leaving debris within the dog park, which glass and other debris, which could affect the residents in there and also their dogs. And also, it could be used if there's ever an issue in the park where something unfortunate happens between a dog and a...
Dogs or an owner or something. Okay.
So we felt that this was the next park that should be protected by a system like this, and then obviously Camarda Park. So our four largest parks will be covered under video surveillance, and then we'll move forward with the airport, Red Mills Park, and the Geary Rink if, probably a year or so after this.
Okay. Just another question, I guess, for CIA. Since we've been giving you guys quite a bit of work, and we're continuing to, the inspection coverage, like, per year with all the parks, one is $445, one is $733. I don't know what the other ones is. Can you maybe go back and maybe try to get those a little bit lower?
I can certainly talk to John about that. I don't get the ability to make that decision.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
that's
certainly
what
talk.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
you
can
go
certainly
ask
talk to
him.
John
So-
about that.
Yeah, okay.
It includes, not only it includes the equipment for the extended warranty coverage, so it's not necessarily just a cleaning or something of that nature, so it's a warranty on all the equipment that's there, minus Dan Owen's part of it, which is just the electric service. But it's coverage for the equipment, but in addition to that, it's also 2 times per year, a technician goes out, opens everything up, cleans everything, the hard drives and the boards inside this equipment. They don't like to be full of dirt and dust. So we touch it twice a year, and in addition to that, we also provide a warranty. So there's a pretty good value there when you look at what it costs to send a technician there twice per year and pay them prevailing wage to open stuff up and clean it and look at, there's an expense that's involved with that, for sure.
Now, when you guys go out and clean it twice a year, do you give a report back to Jimmy?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, does
Jim, I
anybody-
got a problem with not with the alarms in the video. You're a principal with CIA?
Just sales,
Just
that's all.
sales? Okay.
But it's a small family,
Are
so
you in
we all
charge
work
of the
together.
billboards that are all over town?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. My problem, and one of the reasons why I ran for this office, and I'm not going to stop until it's resolved, is I find it very offensive, the alarm signs and the fence signs that are getting bigger and bigger every year.
Okay,
And when I drive down Route 6, it looks like a CIA billboard.
okay.
All right, I mean, do we have a regulation? Don't we have a regulation? A sign on a fence used to be 4 inches by 4 inches on the corner of a fence. And if you saw it, it's not a billboard for someone to see when they're driving by. And on every address, I see a CIA sign that has to be a foot tall by 8 inches big with CIA in the address. Now, I'm all for safety, but I'm also a businessman and I know what advertising is. And as far as I'm concerned, you're advertising with every alarm that you sell on major roads. And we're looking into our sign ordinance now. We're looking into our violations. As everybody can see, Route 6 looks a lot better over the last 2 weeks with the zoning compliance officer going out. But the next thing that we're sending the zoning compliance officer on are the lawn signs, parking, repair signs, alarm signs, and fence signs. And if you're going to put a system in every one of our parks, I don't want to drive through our park and see 2 big 1-foot CIA signs on them. And I can't
There are
emphasize
none
that
in any of the
enough.
town parks that we've put them in so far.
Excuse me?
There's no advertising for CIA alarms in either the Chamber Park or McDonough Park.
Okay.
We-
But for you to bring to the powers that be, you are getting a lot of business from the town of Carmel.
I certainly respect your concerns when it comes to town beautification. Do we know, one of the things that we hear in the central station is, okay, we're going to X address. Many times, people don't make it clear by the mailbox or from the road to tell, we're going to 296 South Street, for example. So if you notice on those signs, it
just on
includes
the
the
bottom.
house number.
Yep.
Which helps identify it
I have
during
no problem
an
with that.
alarm event. I'm wondering if there's some sort of
Cut off the CIA part.
right. I'm wondering if there's some sort of a ordinance or something of that nature that talks about, you know, the sign size as far as it's concerned to the house number and such.
I have no
that
problem with the house
Maybe we
number.
can work with you on
You
it.
can make the house number as big as you want. From the house number up, take off your advertisement.
Again, I don't make that decision, but I'll certainly sit and talk to John about it.
Thank you.
Agree.
All right, perfect. Anybody else have anything? No? All right, thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, and Jimmy, you are up next again. Number 11 is Jimmy Gilchrist, Director of Recreation and Parks in Eagle Scout project called Gaga Pit at Sycamore Park. Eagle Scout candidate Thomas Mata? Mata. Which one? Mata or Mata? Mata. All right. Thomas, if you can come up. And it's really nice. I was at the recreation meeting last Thursday, and Thomas was here. I never heard of a Gaga Pit, but it looks like a lot of fun. So, Thomas, take it away.
Yeah, both of these Eagle Scout projects came off of our ongoing list that we keep in the Recreation Department of projects that we're looking to do on town properties throughout town. So anytime an Eagle Scout comes into the office, we'll hand them the list that we have. And that's based on things that we see coming up in the future and other areas that have been lagging. And one of them was Vols Park, our trail system has deteriorated up there. Last time we did that was in 2006. And then this other item that has come up, a lot of kids in the summer day camp were asking for a Gaga Pit. So we met with Thomas during the, probably about a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
And he saw that right away, and he said, that'd be my project. So he picked up on that. So why don't you go forward on the research that you did on it and the materials that'll be used? And
All right. So I'm planning to build a Gaga pit down at Sycamore Park, and so Gaga ball is a fast-paced game played in an octagonal pit. The objective is to hit the players below their knees, and they have to try to dodge it. So the specifications for the actual pit would be, it would be 30 inches high, made out of 8-foot-long pressure-treated wood, 2 inches by 10 inches by 8 feet long. There'll be 24 of those, and it'll be 20 feet in diameter. And then I plan to put in a doorway kit, and then connect all the pieces together with brackets, and then after it's built, put that down covers for the walls. And then for the flooring, I plan to use stone dust for the floor, and then, yeah. So the first step would be to clear out the area where it will be built, remove the grass that is there, and then, so clear that space out, and then there's a space behind where I would want to build it, and it's just like a little messy, so just clear that place out, make it look nicer, plant a few shrubs, and then, yeah, so start the building, and then, start the building, and then about 6 months later, I plan to stain it. So for the cost of the pressure-treated wood, it'll be about $260. The doorway kit would be around $350. The brackets would be $520. The wall top covers would be $155. And the stone dust, the decomposed granite, would be $2,200. I'm still trying to get that lower. I'm trying to meet with like a company where I could get it in bulk. That's just from like buying a bunch of bags from Home Depot. So I'm still trying to look for a company where I could get it in bulk.
Okay, great.
And then,
For the metal rule sign?
yeah, so I would just like put that right on the pit, just all the rules there so everyone knows how to play.
This sounds like a lot of fun. And where are you gonna put it, Thomas? I know
Down
it's
at-
Sycamore, but like, just so the people can know.
So by like the playground, there's like a little building there in that area.
Why is there so much?
By like the old theater, it's a blue building
Okay,
right next to
across
there.
the path of the theater, you have that grass knoll that's back there, next to the kids'
Yeah.
playground, across from the bigger kids' playground.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jim?
My kids are gonna be going crazy for it. They've been asking 3 years to keep going all around to other parks, since we don't have them here in this town. But other places do have them, and they love it. And every kid that I talk to just seems to think it's the greatest thing. When I saw this come through, I think it's gonna be a spectacular project. I look forward to working with you guys on the fundraising. I can't wait to see the finished product. Hopefully, it gets done really quick.
Yeah.
and Thomas, what are you gonna do for fundraising? So
Yeah,
maybe
so
we can help you out.
fundraising, I plan to do bake sales around town, car washes, and then try to get donations from like Home Depot and wherever I
Okay.
can.
Great,
You can see, this is where it's going. This area here over at Sycamore Park. So if you're walking down the access road,
Gotta get
this
him
is where the
appointed.
beach area is, the playground, the pavilion. This is on the right-hand side, correct, Jim? Yes. So this is on your right-hand side when you're walking down that access road towards the beach area, the pavilion and playground. That's where it's going, and that's what it's gonna look like right there. I'm sorry, we're trying to get the full screen here, but we're not able to do that for some reason. So that's it right there, that's what it's gonna look like, the outside of it. And he gave you, did you give the diameters on the
20,
inside?
20
Yeah,
foot.
20 feet diameter.
20 feet diameter, so it's gonna look nice in that area there. And that area is currently not being utilized at all.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
for
the big,
anything. There's a bench there. You're gonna leave the bench there also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy, the big cost is the decomposed granite flooring. I never heard that expression.
It's, my understanding is stone dust.
It's
So,
stone dust.
I see Mickey back there. We could probably ask him where he
Why,
could get it.
why is it so expensive?
Well, I think he got a price from bags from Home Depot.
Yeah.
That's gonna be considerably higher than
Yeah.
if you get it in bulk, so that number could definitely.
Did you price this out
Yeah, I'm still looking
in
for a
bags? Yeah,
company.
okay. Yeah, that could come down
Yeah,
quite a
he's-
bit.
Yeah, we're gonna, I told him that we're gonna we'll
Thomas?
use the
What's the-
town
what's the
pickup, the
yardage?
dump truck, and we'll
How many
pick it
bags
up
did
for
you
him.
need? What's the yardage?
1.7 cubic yards.
1.7, Mickey.
Mickey, 1.7.
1.7 cubic yards. 1 point.
Figure
1
2
point-
yards total,
2 yards.
Couple, yeah,
Cost,
few hundred, right?
yeah. Yeah, that's a big number you could take out of there, and you can make a couple phone calls and get it donated.
So, Mickey, maybe Thomas can speak with you after the meeting. You can give him some places where he can call?
Small rate.
All right, good. Yeah, Thomas, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We look forward to a Gaga
Gaga
tournament.
tournaments.
Yep.
Jim, just make sure he reaches out with the bulk stuff. Okay.
And this is a regular picture. This is me with Butch Anderson the other night.
Of course he puts up.
We don't
What
wanna
did we
see a
tell
picture
you?
of you on that.
Okay. All right, so number, all right, so number 12, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Number 12, Jimmy Gilchrist, Director of Recreation and Parks, the Eagle Scout Project, Restoration of Nature Trails at Volts Park, Eagle Scout candidate Marlo Termine. Did I say it right?
Mario, yep.
Mario Termine. Thank you, honey. If you would just explain your project?
Yep, so I'm with Troop 371 in Mayapack, and we took interest in restoring Vols Park For those who don't know, Bulls Park is a 15-acre park that was donated to the town in 2004. Since then, the condition has worsened, and the trails have deteriorated. Restoring the park would include creating a new trail map, since the original copy has been lost, creating new trails, clearing them of trash, branches, and brush that have overtaken them. We would also remark the trails with trail markers so you don't get lost, and restoring the garden by the entrance, new plants, new mulch. And in addition, at the entrance, we would be building 2 benches from recycled pallets. There was a woman, when me and Nina were at the park. Oh, yep. When we are at the park, there was a woman walking her dog there, and she mentioned that sometimes people bring up chairs and sit and bring them up. So she suggested some benches.
Gotta do something.
Right, except for the picture of the tent, apparently.
And Mary, you're going to make the benches also, right? Build them?
Get the engineer for the next item.
Again, for those of you that may not know, Volts Park is the one, if you see the big tower in the middle of town here, that, if you can find the water, that tower, Volts Park is right near there.
Cell tower.
Well, it's Crest Drive,
Off of Crest Drive.
Crest Drive, yeah, at the end of Crest Drive.
And Thomas, what are you going to do for your fundraising?
We would do some bake sales. We were thinking over at Kmart and possibly Red Mills, car washes at the firehouse, and donations from local companies. I'm in contact with some printing places to print and laminate the trail map, donated mulch, things like that. And the pallets would be donated too.
That's right. And then at the recreation meeting, weren't you talking about something with a cell phone?
Yes, there would be a QR code. It's included on one of the pages. So you could download the QR code scanner on your phone, and you could actually scan that code, and it would pull the map up on your phone.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
I think it's great timing, too. We have a resident who's contacted us in regards to donating some additional property that's adjoining to Bulls Park, so we are contemplating taking that on and expanding that park. So to have it revitalized now through your project will be a great start to the future for the park.
Thank you.
It's a park that most people don't even know about in this town.
Yeah.
It's hardly ever used. When I tell people about it, they're amazed that it exists right up there on the road. So it's,
Yep, Supervisor Schmidt has it up there.
At the end of Crest Drive, up where the communications tower is, that's the entrance to Volts Park. Look at the beautiful columns there.
There's actually a
There's nice stone columns, there's the wrought iron gates that go in there. It's not used by many people at all, really. And these are the people, Joseph and Aurelia Volz, they donated the land where that park is, and there's a plaque on one of the stone piers, or the stone columns with their pictures on it. So, I'm gonna go a little bit more. This is one of the trails. This is one of the trails that are going back in through Volz Park that are gonna be cleaned up and taken care of. That's the kiosk that's there in the park.
Yeah, it was built in 2006.
Was that an Eagle Scout project also? All right, so this kiosk was built by another Eagle Scout for his project in 2006. So that's going back, right? You want to describe where that is?
It's part of the Blue Trail along the park. Yep.
Okay, so what are you gonna do here? You're just gonna clean up?
Yeah, so you can kind of make out the trail, but that's part of what we're doing is we're going to go in there and make the trail very defined so you can see where you're going and not get lost.
And he's going to mark the trails, too.
Same thing here?
Yep.
You're gonna clean up is that a?
Yep, the trail goes straight down. You can see the tree that has fallen over it. So we'd be clearing things like that.
All right. Good, okay, looks like a great project.
That's awesome, thank you.
And one of the next Eagle Scout projects that we're going to be doing is actually doing a sign system from Route 6N up to the Volz Park. So having a sign down on 6N and then all the intersections up. Mario was actually proposing doing it as part of his project, but we thought it would be too much. Be quite a few signs to get up the hill. So we'll be looking for a scout to come up with similar signs that we have at Seminary Hill Road
Right.
and Church Street, the small Camarda Park signs, the small green signs with white letters. We would do something similar to that up there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? No, good? Thanks. Number 13, Richie Franzetti, PE Town Engineer, considered bond return Kirkwood Estates. Rich?
Good evening. So as you stated, this is a bond return in response to a request by the applicant. A representative of the engineering department did perform a field inspection on the reference property to evaluate the status of site construction for the purpose of determining whether a bond return can be warranted. The original bond amount of $600,635 was reduced to $103,495 on August 25th, 2001. Based on our inspection, all site improvements required pursuant to the planning board's approval have been completed. On this basis, we recommend the remainder of the bond of $103,495 be released. This has been reviewed and inspected by Mike Carnazza and approved by the planning board.
This is the one, there's no connection now with this bond release and the problem we have with the Kirk Lake residents and the clearing.
No.
No
that's-
connection.
No connection. This one's not connected at all.
Just want to be totally
Right,
sure of that.
right. Yeah, there were other complaints, Mike, but on a separate,
All right, so I want to make sure before we release any bonds.
right? Yeah.
Anybody else have questions?
Nope.
Okay. Rich, the next one, number 14, is to consider request to authorize payment for repairs, Carmel Water District Number 2.
Memorandum is being presented to the board to request payment for repair invoices. They are over the town of Carmel's procurement policy threshold. In this instance, Carmel Water District 2, there was a hydrant replacement on April 6, 2018. Infomark, the operators of Carmel Water District 2 notified the engineering department of a water leak in front of 22 Farm Road. Upon further investigation, it was determined that 2 saddles in the area were leaking, and the invoice in the amount of $9,074.36 is attached for the repair to be performed. I had a note on there, it's hydrant replacement. I apologize, this was for a repair of a leak. There are sufficient funds in the budget for this work.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
So that concludes our work session for tonight. We're going to open up for public comment for 3 minutes on agenda items only. Do we have anybody? Yep, come on up. Just state your name.
My name is Chris Paleo. The only thing I wanted to bring up is, you were talking about traffic safety. I don't know if that was item 6 on the agenda, but one thing I wanted to bring up was that the entrance here to McAlpin Avenue is not marked. It widens if you're heading towards Route 6, coming north, I guess, on Croton Falls. And a few weeks back, I was coming with the town car, waiting to make a left turn, and I almost had a guy rear-end me. Because what happens is they come around, if you have someone going slower and then someone behind them, they think the road's widening there, and they go around them and actually go over the double yellow on the other side of McAlpin up to the left turn to go onto 6. Yesterday, when I was leaving from Town Hall, I saw the same thing happen and almost an accident occur because the guy was in the guy's blind spot right up at that same thing. Just, if we're going to do safety and they're talking about, you know, grooving the road for the S-turn and stuff, simple painting, left turn only, it's currently not marked. It's never been marked. And a sign saying left turn must, you know, left lane must turn left.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be something I would add to that,
Okay.
to that
All right,
proposal.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, good suggestion. Thanks.
Thanks,
Chris.
Scott.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yes.
Yep. Anyone else? Yep.
Hi,
Hello.
good evening.
Hello.
Good to see everybody. First, I'd just like to ask, I have a couple of questions. Oh, Judy Mira, Carmel. Are the rates the same throughout the county? You talked about the rates at Lake Secor and Cassie for the seasonal, for the lifeguards.
lifeguards?
Are they the same throughout the county?
No.
They're not even the same in our own lakes.
Yeah,
Each-
Each district is different because the facility may be different, the number of lifeguards on duty might be different, so each district will have their own offering. Because even though the town is approving the expenditure of that, because we handle the lake districts, they, govern themselves, and, set their own budget and, expenditures, if you will. But it is different, within a couple dollars, $13 at one, $15 at the other.
Okay, just wondering, because do the kids, basically, who are in that range that go for the summer jobs, do they tend to go, of course, like anybody would go to the one area that pays the most? So it would seem if it were a little more even across the board, that you'd be assured of coverage in
Yeah, I
all
think
the
that's why
lakes.
Secor bumped theirs up a little bit.
And those lifeguards are typically kids that live
Yes,
in that
in that
district.
Exactly.
Live in the area.
Ride
I
their
would
bike
think.
there,
Yeah.
Okay. I think congratulations to the Eagle Scouts. I think your projects are absolutely wonderful. Anything that beautifies and presents environments where the public families can go is absolutely wonderful. So great luck on that. I look forward to hearing about where you need donations. Cake I can't eat, but I'll definitely donate. Who maintains, like for the cameras, I wanted to know, in going back to the cameras, who maintains, who watches, who does the surveillance, who sits there in whatever office it's in and monitors that, or is it just a video that plays?
They go to a DVR, they go to a tape, if you will, or recording of it in a DVR somewhere. It's either in the police department, they have it in downstairs. Did Jimmy leave?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the cameras that we're installing in downtown Mahopac at the Chamber Park, the ones we discussed tonight, or the ones in the other parks throughout the town, they are stored. Nobody's sitting there actually monitoring them. They can. If you're in your office and you just want to go to those particular cameras, you can view it live, but most of it is.
So if a concern came up, you'd have the ability to go back and view it. How long does that stay on
Actually,
it?
the police desk, in the police department where the dispatchers are, they have the ability to monitor the cameras also. In a lot of
There are
cases,
times when it's
a lot of
monitored.
cases, they do. They do monitor them, but.
Okay.
Secret is not to divulge when they're being monitored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gaga Pit at Sycamore, I'm pretty sure Camp Ehrlich has one of those also. I know my grandson goes and they love it, so it is a great, it is something great to do. Again, who will monitor the upkeep of that? And the nature
Jim's
trails
listed on
itself?
Recreation.
Parks and Rec takes care of that? Okay, fantastic. I would just like, I know there was some traffic safety board. I am with the Traffic Safety Board. I am the coordinator and corresponding secretary. So if anybody has any concerns, there's a Traffic Safety Board website, there's a Facebook page, and we are out of the Sheriff's Department, and they can always contact us with any concerns, and we have meetings every other month.
All right,
So
great,
that we
thank
can
you.
bring it
Great,
up.
thank
Thank
All right,
you.
Judy, thank you. Yeah. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Anybody else from
Mike?
agenda? Mike?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
actually, two things. One, as it relates to the Eagle Scouts, if you can get me some sort of a digital image of what they're trying to do, I'd be willing to send that out to the members of the Chamber of Commerce
okay.
to see if any of those members may want to help and support the effort. I think it's a great thing for the
Great.
community.
I think
so-
Kenny, Jimmy sent them to me, I sent them to you, so you can
I
send
could
them
send
to
them
Mike.
to you,
Yeah,
Mike.
okay, so
I'll-
that's.
I'll email them.
That's one. I actually did one a few weeks ago for another Eagle Scout who was trying to build a dock for the VFW, so I'm willing to do it for the rest. I think it's the right thing to do, so.
Thank you.
That's one. The other thing is, as a non-chamber person, related to the traffic situation, I don't know if it was by design or not, and it's not so much of a problem now, but I think it will be in the near future. On Route 6 at Wixon Pond Road, at that traffic light, there used to be a no left turn sign,
I know.
and it's gone. So I don't know if that was by design or it's not by design, but what's going to happen as that shopping center becomes alive again,
Yeah.
it's going to cause a problem, because what people do is they get into the right lane if somebody's turning left, and the right lane is purely for people going into the shopping center, and it's going to cause a problem. There's going to be accidents. So if that sign was just
Yeah.
happened to come down in a storm and is not there any longer, it needs to be put back up, and if it was by design, then it should be looked at again.
So that sign was actually posted for no left turn into Cooney Road.
into Wixon, well, isn't that Wixon Pond Road that goes up that
No,
hill?
that's Cooney
Oh, that's
Road.
Cooney, oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Cooney Road is the road that goes up.
Yeah,
to-
I'm sorry, yeah, I thought that was Wixon.
So there
Okay.
was I remember seeing a no left turn, right.
Yeah,
sign
because
there.
what happens
That's
if
gone?
you're at that light, I mean, there's other options for a person that needs to go up there.
Yeah.
They can go at the firehouse here and go up that way. I mean, they have other options. That light is probably the worst possible
I
place for
agree
them
with
to make a
you,
left
yeah.
turn.
I'll look into that, Mike.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Anyone else? Okay, so now, town board comments?
Open forum?
Open forum?
New business?
New
Open
business?
forum, new business portion of the meeting? Mickey?
Yep, Mickey?
Good, Mickey. Everybody knows Mickey.
I know, you knew I was here for something,
Mickey
right?
got a tan.
Mickey Farina,
Listen,
Old New York. I thought I was gonna have a few more with me, but a few of us are kinda alarmed at the assessments, no offense, Glenn. But we can't figure out why we just get assessed, spend this money, and then my assessment's all right, but here's an example. This is not my assessment. This is in Dixon Lake. The house was assessed at $394,200. Now, that's 2017. 2018, it's $406,000. Plus 11, almost $12,000. This house, you can't tell me that this house went up $12,000 in Dixon Lake in 1 year. But anyway, my point being is that if we spend all this, I thought it was like you do a reevaluation every 5 or 6 years. Then you're kind of set. Unless you improve your house, you draw a permit on it, then of course you get assessed when you get your CO. But I just can't see how, and no offense, Glenn, but I don't see how you could come to a house and say the house was assessed at $394 after we spent all this money on assessment. Now it's $406. How do you come up with this number?
Kenny?
And there was a lot of people. I was supposed to have about 10 people with me tonight, but of course I'm the only one.
Yeah.
No offense, Glenn.
All right, maybe, well,
I know
Say,
you're.
do we want to ask
but-
Glenn?
yeah.
Yeah, Glenn, do you?
Last week when I got mine,
Do you want to come up
Yeah.
real quick?
and there was somebody came out last Tuesday or Wednesday,
Yeah,
and there were a couple people here last week.
yeah.
And I agree with you, I expected a lot more people here tonight, because I got quite a few phone calls, and everybody on this board got quite a few phone calls.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did was ask Kenny to bring Glenn in, and I sat in Kenny's office with Glenn for a good half hour for an explanation.
Right.
And he confused the hell out of me, too. All right?
No offense, Glenn.
No offense.
No offense,
Glenn.
Glenn.
No offense, Glenn. But and you know who was probably one of the most vocal people
Right.
about that revow, and the reason why I'm sitting here,
Yeah.
the main reason is because of that revow. So
I got nothing against the
I gave-
revow.
I gave him the third degree
No. Yeah,
for a half hour.
right.
And here's the explanation I got, if it helps you. There's 13,000 parcels in the town.
Right.
They don't single out houses, which I was under the impression that we're at 100%, and I'm in the business.
Right.
Okay. I was under the impression we're at 100% valuation. Once a house is sold, it gets revalued at that number.
Right.
I'm wrong. He straightened me out that day.
Yeah.
They can't take the New York State law, you can't take the individual sales.
Right.
You have to take a group of sales. And if you saw the meeting about 3-4 weeks ago, when he was up here with Edie, I specifically said to him, is this going to happen, and how do we notify the people?
You were right.
And we've come to the conclusion that the letter that went out is not sufficient,
The law stinks. What is the law?
and it won't happen again. You're going to have the form letter that's dictated by New York State that you're looking at, and I have mine right here, too.
Yeah.
Which basically gives the number breakdown. On the back, you have an informal letter that gives you the explanation, but we all felt it wasn't good enough.
Right.
And next year, it's going to be corrected. But they take, let's say, you're in McGregor, you said?
No, this is Dixon Lake.
Where's that one, Dixon Lake? Okay.
by
So Dixon
Sycamore.
Lake, let's say they had 4 sales in Dixon Lake.
Right.
They take those 4 sales, and they average it, and correct me if I'm wrong, and they average it, and that's the formula they use to raise it.
Right.
Now, the problem I have with that, and the problem I've had and still have with our reval is you can't get a true feeling of the real estate market
Right.
in 1 year, especially in the seesaw that we've had in the last 6 years. And that's the problem. Now, there's nothing on the market. We all know that the 3.25, 350 houses are now 4.25. Okay? I accepted his explanation with that because he said he had a couple of hundred comps.
Right.
Okay? I didn't accept his answer when he said he carried that 4%. The averages, and I have all my notes here, of the 8,000 people that changed, the averages were 2%, 3%, and 4% in increases. I've seen a greater increase than that myself in the market on the raised ranches, small colonials, houses from 275 to 400,000. It's a very hot market.
Yes.
And we're going to see the change every year, whether we like it or not, and I don't like it. What I asked Glenn is, shouldn't we be taking a 3-year average? But New York State law again dictates we can't do that either.
Is the button up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's on.
It's on. Yeah, we do look back to determine the trends. We look back 3 years. We did that.
Right, on this one.
Because you can't just look at the 1 year and determine a trend. You have to look back and see what's been happening in the past.
Well, that was
to
my
get the
argument
trend.
with you, that we just did it.
But we're merely just keeping your assessment at full market value. That is what we're doing, and we're doing that from, looking at sales, what's actually sold within the town.
That's the bottom line, Mick.
There are
Nobody likes it.
changes year over year.
But those prices are going up, and the average home in Mahopac is going up, because now we're at 100% valuation.
Right.
The problem with the letter that went out was the explanation behind it. And it will be a lot more detailed next year. But this is going to happen every year.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that is not happy with what happened,
I know you have a chance to,
you have,
yeah.
please take advantage of it. I know I advised several people, 2 of them today, that called my office.
I mean, so if your
Call, make an
neighbors...
appointment with them, and take advantage of it, because Glenn understands the anger that's out there. And when we went over, when Kenny read the letter and the back of the paper, and I read it, and Glenn read it, we realized there were some things we could have done better
Right.
to make you understand it. But it's going to happen every year now that we're at 100%
As long as
now.
it's on an equal basis, it shouldn't affect your taxes.
Correct.
When you see the increase of 12,000,
Right.
what's the dollar?
Well, we don't know what the
We don't
dollar
know
amount's
yet.
going to be. The levies
Soon,
haven't
right,
been
and that was
prepared
another
yet.
thing I asked him, how do we tell
The
people?
thing that-
What's the overall value increase?
We can go off the last year.
The town's total assessment.
I don't know the number.
We
to be
don't know
honest
that
with you,
number
year
yet.
over
That's what he
year.
was
I
explaining
don't
to
have
us.
that with me.
You don't know.
You should have. I mean, we know last year's, and you know all the increases, and you
won't-
We don't-
aggregate up all the increases and some of the decreases.
But we don't know the levies, though.
Well, the levies didn't
We
come
need to
in.
know
That's
the
what he-
levies, the
told
assessments
us
in
for a
other
half hour.
towns.
I had a tough time understanding it myself, and I do it.
But Mickey, you with the other people, you can grieve it.
So I asked him,
You can grieve it.
Mine
Again, yeah.
stayed the same,
Yeah, but whomever is out there, if they don't
You
think
know
that it
who it
was
is.
fair, yeah,
so
yeah.
I just, this may be, did anybody's assessment go down?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Some neighborhoods went down.
yeah.
Not from the trends, no. Some stayed the same, but some went down because, construction issues, condition issues.
yeah,
Yeah.
the majority was up 2%, 3%, and 4%.
Yeah, our market
It was
is
a
up right
small
now.
minority that went down.
That's
And
happening
as we all know, the real
countywide.
estate market, that makes sense. There's just nothing out there.
4%.
Let me just say
Some
one
of
more
them
thing.
two,
If
some of them
everything
three,
is on
some
an
of them
equal basis, then the tax, if the assessments are up, then the tax levy will, if the tax levy should be this, it shouldn't affect your taxes. If everybody's house is assessed properly.
Right.
It shouldn't affect your taxes.
That number might not change your tax, that's what Glenn said.
I know.
Your taxes might not change, but we won't know that
Right.
until when?
Well, the school bill, we won't know until the school bill is really printed
Yeah,
that week.
but Glenn,
Which
I'm
is
not-
when?
But Glenn,
September.
I'm not asking
first.
the levy. Total assessed value for the town last year versus the new. Total assessed value, not the levy. I'm not asking the levy. I'm not asking what the budgets are for the schools or for the town or for the county. What is the total assessed value?
Are you looking just for a town tax rate idea? Is that what you're looking for?
I'm not asking one rate.
I think
I'm
what
asking
John wants to
for
know-
If the town was valued at $4 billion last year, with this new assessment, the statistical assessment, is it $4,160,000? 4% increase. Like, what's the total assessed value? Not rate, not levy, assessed value.
I don't know the number. I didn't bring that with me tonight.
Because that plays into the mill rate, which you're getting at. So if everything went up, it may not be the increase. Because I did get a couple calls, I got a couple calls
We all did.
with some choice words.
Yeah.
My taxes just went up $9,000. No,
No,
your
your
value went
value
up
went up.
$9,000. If you sold it last year, it would be this. If you sold it this
Forget
year,
it.
it'd be
It's in the
$9,000 more.
billions.
Your taxes didn't go up $9,000. But if the total value of the whole town went up, the mill rate's gonna go down if the levy stays the same.
Exactly,
Which
yes.
Mahopac just put out an article that,
It's going up 0.8%.
which is flat to me.
It's flat.
The town's gonna do an effort, the county's working on to keep the 2% tax, so
It
that
should be flat.
Yeah, that governs the tax increase, but it would be nice to understand what the total assessed value, what you're saying, if everything went up on a relative equal scale, then your taxes are not gonna be impacted by the valuation of your home.
The difficult part of everybody understanding it, including myself, is we get this number now, but we don't know what it means till September.
Yeah, I know, right.
It's just,
All right, my
I'm
3
trying to
minutes
find
is
it
up.
for
I'd
you,
like to
but-
thank you guys for listening to me, and if you want to talk to me before I leave, I'll give you a few names, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much for listening.
thanks, Mick.
Thanks, Mickey.
Nobody's gonna change the total. Thanks, Mick. Anybody else for open forum, new business portion of the meeting? Come on up at this time. Okay, there being none, I have, Susie, you could do this announcement, since you're recreation, or John could do it.
You have nice notices? You're giving notices? Can I say
Yeah,
something before
yeah,
you give
yeah.
your notices?
Yeah, yeah. Hang on.
I'm hope everybody sees the difference on Route 6 through Carmel, through Baldwin Place, on the last 2 weeks with the crackdown on the signage. It's not going to stop, it's going to continue. As I told the CIA gentleman, we advised our zoning inspector to concentrate now on the porta potties around the lake with the gotta-go signs. We all know we all gotta go sooner or later, but we don't want a 2-foot by 2-foot yellow sign telling us you gotta go every 100 yards. So the crackdown is gonna continue. So please, if you have an illegal sign up, please take it down, please comply. If you have a porta potty there, cover it with some lattice, or call the owner of the company, because we are gonna reach out to them, and the signs have to come off.
We had proposed one.
Now we have some good news.
I just want to clarify something. I don't think we have a code yet that makes the people cover their.
Going to.
Yeah, but we don't.
Well, I'm asking,
We
I
don't.
asked.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm asking, if you have a porta potty
Yeah,
that's right on the road, out
Yeah.
of respect to your neighbors,
to do,
and
yeah.
out of
but the-
respect to the community,
Right,
you could wrap it with lattice
yeah.
from Home Depot for under $100.
Yeah.
And these
I
porta
just want-
potties are not portable anymore, so
No, they stay there.
they
Yeah.
stay there.
I
Now-
just wanted to make sure that the people knew, because you were
Right.
talking about the code enforcement's going out, and then you talked about the porta potties. I wanted them to make,
And we are working on the fact that there are permanent structures now if they stay there 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
So they're technically in violation.
Enclosures, putting enclosures.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Was it last year or 2 years ago, we spoke about a whole bunch of different options
Yeah,
for
when
the
they're
porta
there- when they
potties?
don't move,
Yeah,
they're permanent.
Yeah.
yeah,
Accessory structure.
yeah, yeah. No, you're right. No, you're 100% right.
No, it's an accessory structure, you're gonna need a permit. So work with us, and nobody here, especially myself, okay, I've gotten a lot of remarks about beating on people that need signs. I'm not beating on anybody. We all love our town. It's a beautiful town. Show some respect for it, and that's all I ask. Okay? If porta potties are out there for 12 months out of a year, they're an accessory building. I'm not telling you you have to come in and get a permit. One day you might have to, but I'm asking you to take the signs down. And we will reach out. We've reached out once to the owner of the company. I am personally going to reach out again. And I'm going to speak to him as nicely as I spoke to the CIA gentleman. If you have to put your address there, put your address there. Take your name and your phone number off.
Or spin the porta potty, so the address.
You want someone to see your sign and your phone number? Put it inside the porta potty, so when they're there, they can see your sign and phone number.
So when they're using it, they can see, yeah,
They got something to read,
yeah.
reading material.
I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Do this one, yeah. The Town of Carmel Recreation and Parks Department Summer Camp and Class Information. The summer camp registration is open now, and all registrations are to be done online. So don't go to Sycamore Park to register. After May 25th, the price will go up. The 2018 summer camp dates are from June 25th through August 3rd, with no camp on July 3rd or July 4th. And please make sure you have your child's immunization record as well as the medical insurance information on hand, because you're going to need that to fill it out. Early bird registration ends May 25th. Also, the summer class registration is now open. The classes are filling up quickly. I think some of them may already be filled up. They have swim lessons, kayak launching on Lake Mahopac, intro to stand-up paddleboarding, sunset yoga on Lake Mahopac, advanced stand-up paddleboarding, introduction to recreational kayaking on Lake Mahopac, painting on location, and U.S. sports classes, and many more. So if you have any questions, just call the Recreation Department, 845-628-7888. Thanks.
Good, thanks. All right, I have a request from the Italian-American Club of Mahopac to make this announcement. There's going to be a tribute to Elvis, so all you Elvis fans out there, there's a tribute to Elvis on Friday, May 18th, 2018 at 7:30 p.m. at the Italian-American Club on Bucks Hollow Road. It's featuring Pat Castaldo and all the King's Men. There's an RSVP required, $30 per person with advanced PayPal registration. Call Giulio Cefaloni for further information at 845-745-2655. It's $35 at the door. Refreshments are available. Again, it's sponsored by the Italian-American Club of Mahopac, but the fundraising is for the United for the Troops. Most of us in here know what the United for the Troops are and what they do. They send care packages to the troops overseas during holidays and other events during the course of the year. United for the Troops is a wonderful organization. In fact, we had them in here several months ago. The organizers of that, Jim Rathschmidt and his wife Patty Rathschmidt, we presented them with a proclamation for everything that they do. So this is for a great cause, United for the Troops. It's a non-for-profit organization donating care packages, as I said, to troops overseas. So again, Friday, May 18th, 7:30 p.m. at the Italian-American Club, a tribute to Elvis, $30 per person. Advanced PayPal registration is $35 at the door.
And Kenny, just real quick, the Lake Mahopac Rotary Club is presenting a doo-wop rock and roll oldies show. It is this Friday, May 11th at the Mahopac High School, 7 o'clock. They are, if you don't get them in advance, they're $35 in advance, $40 at the door. So again, this Friday, May 11th.
May 11th?
Yep.
Okay. All right, and just a couple other quick items to note. I've gotten some complaints, and I've actually saw some complaints through social media about the Central Hudson project that's ongoing throughout the town. There's two major sections that are where Central Hudson's installing a 10-inch gas main. One of the locations is the entire length of Wixon Pond Road. The other location is Bullet Hole Road to Long Pond Road. I've gotten complaints from motorists that are traveling on those sections of town roads that the delays are enormous. They're tremendous. They're lengthy delays, and they're not alternating traffic the way they should be. They should, allow 10 cars to pass through, stop traffic, allow another 10 cars to pass through, instead of allowing multiple cars without an actual count to how many cars that you let through. I called Central Hudson today. I spoke to the project manager. He assures me that he's going to resolve that issue, that he's going to contact the contractor, who is Mullen Construction, who's the contractor on the project, and advise them that they're going to have to do a better job. And the project is from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. The complaints that I've been receiving are they're working beyond 7 p.m. also. They're working up to 7:45 p.m. daylight. I guess they're trying to get more of the project done during daylight, but the agreement was, per the contract, that they would stop working at 7 p.m. So I spoke to him about that also, and he assures me they're going to take care of it. So those who have had those concerns, and in a lot of cases complaints, I guess there's a lot of people getting frustrated that are waiting in line to proceed. They've been beeping their horns, they've been yelling some expletives, which they shouldn't do, but they've been doing that. So hopefully my conversation with them today is going to resolve that. If not, they're going to get another call from me. The second issue that I'm getting a lot of calls on, and I've seen this as well, our Carter, AAA, is leaving the cans, the totes, when they pick them up with their trucks, they're dropping them in the travel portion of the roadway. I had to get out of my car twice on Weber Hill Road today to move the can myself. Put my flashers on, get out of the car. I moved the can back into the driveway because people they have to go around the car. They have to go around the tote, and they're in the other lane of traffic. So we called AAA on several different occasions and told them, guys, your drivers can't do that. That arm has the ability.
Kenny, is it blue can or
It's the
green
blue can.
That's not the arm. That's
a manual?
Yeah, when they pick up the recycling, that's manual, so they're not putting back. Because the arm goes to the side of the road, picks it up and puts it back
Push it
in.
back.
The manual for the recycling, because it's single source, there's a guy in the back of the
Oh.
truck dumping and then just putting it down. So they need to be told that they got to manually
Put it back in the
put it
driveway.
back.
Yeah,
It's
get it
not
off the
It's
road.
not the
Okay,
arm.
thank you.
That's why I wanted to know if it's green or blue.
Yeah, today it was the blue ones that were all in the middle of the road.
Because yesterday was a recycling day.
Yeah, yeah. So we've contacted AAA. We've had conversations with them about this, and I'm going to call them again tomorrow and let them know what I encountered on Weber Hill Road today. So those who've called my office and have made complaints through social media, because I've been reading that, I probably shouldn't, but I have been. And I've seen some of the complaints on there about it as well. So we're taking care of that. We're addressing it, and I just wanted the public to know that. All right? Does the board have any other announcements they want to make? John? You have anything, Mike? John?
Good, thank you.
Jonathan, do you have anything?
No, I was actually just asking Annie, are we up on social media yet?
No, we were going to, but we held off until you came back.
Oh, thanks, guys, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we went, I have
Hold on, I'm
the,
the one person who doesn't have a Facebook page and you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Really?
no, Susie,
I actually
Susie requested it.
that they wait until you got back.
Oh, yeah, well, let's make it happen.
Yeah,
I think it's
and
something that's
the
great.
name
for
of
at
it,
least-
I came up with a name to put on there.
Please,
Carmel NY Info.
perfect.
Carmel NY Info, right?
I love it.
Okay, I think that's
Great
fine.
starting point, absolutely.
All right, so we'll start with that.
So
All right.
hopefully in the next week or so, we'll have a good Facebook page up and running that'll give information out to all of our
Do you want to help
residents.
Ann with that?
I'm going to be in on Friday going over a lot of technology stuff, so we'll work on that too then.
Okay. All right, great, thank you, good. Susie the one who volunteered you.
Yeah, well, he's the one that mentioned it, God knows how many months ago.
Well, I hate it on the personal side. I think it's a great way to get information out there, and I believe that it's the appropriate thing for us to be doing at this point.
Oh, I do too, a lot of towns have
Setting
it.
up a Twitter feed.
Yeah, North Salem has it, Somers has it, Yorktown has it. A lot of them.
Multiple police departments have Twitter feeds just to
Yeah.
keep people informed on what's
So
going on.
it's just to keep people informed, we're
Absolutely.
not going back and forth
Right?
with comments and
I mean,
stuff.
I don't even think it should be able to take anything on a wall, private message only, and that's it. Yeah.
That's what I like, because it can get too political if you know.
Okay, all right,
can get
good,
too
thanks.
I don't think we need feuds in the public
No.
forum for
No.
the town of
That's
Carmel.
not-
John, thanks for volunteering to help Ann with that.
Thanks for volunteering me. Yeah. That's what happens when you go away for a week.
All right, so that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have executive session. We have one item, Glenn Drosy, the town assessor. This is to discuss certiorari litigations. So we're going to be closing the meeting from executive session. We're not coming back out here. Next time we're back out here is next Wednesday for town board voting meeting. So I need a motion to go into executive session. Motion made. Motion made by Councilman Borelli, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next Wednesday.